Alright, well, I did quite a bit today. I got the wing mounts in right. I'm going to put the battery right in the center of that. Got the uprights. They fit pretty well. They rattle a little bit, but once I put a bolt hole through and tighten them up, I don't think that they're going to move at all. So I've already sanded down the entire thing. It looks really good. I fixed a couple of little areas that I didn't like. I'm going to put some filler down in the middle there and on the wheel wells. Everything's looking really nice. I'm just going to try and get rid of some of these little spot weld areas. I'm not trying to like go super crazy and get it all looking like a bubble or nothing, but I'm going to at least try and get rid of some of the spot welds. Very thin coat, just kind of make it smooth. And it's getting kind of late. I've got a party to go to tonight. My buddy's turning 21 and he wants to go to the bar, and we've got like 25 people going, so it's awesome. But yeah, I'm gonna get to work a little bit more on this for about another hour, hour and a half or so. I'm gonna spread some real nice thin body filler. Uh, Everything else looks pretty good. So I don't know. It's not that warm right now. It's probably in the high 60s, low 70s. I don't even think it's in the low 70s. I think it's a little. I'm actually a little chilly. So yeah, I'm gonna spread on some filler, and I might call it a night after that because I don't. It might dry. If it dries and I can sand it smooth and awesome, I might spray some uh, primer in here. Another coat of primer would pretty much basically solidify me painting this thing tomorrow on the inside. So I'm going to try and do some filler. If it dries up nice, I'll go ahead and try and sand it. I've already sanded down this. I need to sand a little bit up here and a little bit over there. I'm not going crazy with that area because it's going to be covered. I just want it to stick nice. I got to do a little bit more sanding on the doors. I have to clean up underneath the doors so I can spray primer on those also. Um, yeah, she's looking really good. I'm excited. I am gonna try and mix up some filler. One thing I don't like. So I went ahead, as you can see, all this nice, beautiful area of seam sealer. Inside, it worked great. It does not look great, and you can't really sand it because it is literally like rubber. It's not like a silicone. It's like literally like a latex rubber. So I spread it on the back just to kind of smooth out this area. I don't like it. So I'm going to grind all that off, and I'm probably going to do some feeler in the back. Um, I'm not too worried about the inside. The inside looks decent enough. I covered up the welds. I covered up the new plate. I covered up the anywhere where there was an edge with metal. I went ahead and sealed up anywhere where I welded, anywhere where I put two pieces of metal together. I also did the underneath of this wheel liner over here. It looks pretty good. I'm going to take off the wide body over fenders and get that cleaned up. I'm also going to re-tape off this when I shoot some primer in here. Once that dries, or once I get it green, I'll probably redo the Raptor liner right here in this area, because I went ahead. This was all standing up and ugly with some seam sealer. I grinded most of it off. I got a little bit more right here. I think I'll take off. It doesn't really matter. It's going to be covered. I might just leave it like that. I took a lot of it down. It was a really, really big bead, and it looked good about halfway through. On the top, it definitely did not look good. It looked like they mushed it with something. I don't know. It looked horrible. So I grinded it all down. This area doesn't look too bad, so I'll probably just leave that. I'm gonna primer this. I'll tape it off, tape off all of the inside where I got all of the other Raptor liner. I'm not gonna go all crazy with all this other seam sealer on the sides and all that, because it's gonna be covered. This car is gonna have all of the interior back to the C-pillar right here, right in front of the wheel well and strut tower. So as far as trying to detail work all of this seam sealer, I really don't care, because it's not going to show. We're going to have a nice board here with some speaker box carpet on it. It's going to look amazing. We're going to have all brand new carpet in here, so that's going to look amazing. So where I am really trying to concentrate on is the wheel wells, because I'm going to also have some custom fiberglass speaker boxes right here to hold a couple of like little 10s or something. Maybe, I don't think I'm going to go with 12s. I think 12s would be a little too much. But a couple of 10s I think would be great for this car. If my son wants 12s, maybe I'll make the speaker boxes have a good size lip all the way around the speaker hole. That way, if he wants 12s, he can just cut the box and make it bigger. But yeah, I'm gonna mix up some filler. I'm running out of daylight. I'm running out of time. I gotta get back to the house and get changed up for my buddy's 21st birthday tonight. Oh, it's gonna be fun. Alright, well, as you guys can see, I spreaded some body filler, got it all nice and looking. I built it up a little high so that I could take it down and make it nice and flat. But that is going to happen tomorrow, because I have a party to go to for my buddy's 21st birthday. And so the filler will have plenty of time to dry tonight, and I will get to sanding it first thing in the morning. So it'll be nice and dry. I'm going to clean up a little bit more of the seam sealer and then shoot some high build U-pole primer in the back there and cover up all of the filler and the new metal back there. Actually, I'm going to have to spray that with some self-etching primer because it's all bare metal. But I'm going to rattle can that real quick because it'll dry fast. pick up some tomorrow on my way out. And then finish taping everything off, shoot some high build in here, and let that dry. I'm looking good for painting this thing tomorrow evening or tomorrow afternoon. If I can get this smoothed out and I don't have to do another coat, I will high build it and let that dry. I still got to do some cleaning underneath the doors. All that liquid rubber stuff is still under there. So I'm going to scrape that off and clean that tomorrow while the high build primer is drying. And then I'm going to go over everything with a 400 grit. And in theory, I should be able to spray the green inside the car. I've already got the paint. Everything's all lined up, ready to go. I just waiting to get this thing flat. Right there where I put all of that filler is going to be visible, so I really want to do a good job, make that all nice and flat before I paint it. But we're looking really good for painting it tomorrow. As you guys can see, I went ahead and got everything all nice and flat, sanded down everything with the filler in the floor pan and on the wheel liners and everything, or wheel wells. Everything looks pretty good. There are a few minor imperfections, but it's going to be on the inside of the car. There's going to be plenty to look at inside the car. We're going to have forged carbon fiber. We're going to have a couple of big nitrous tanks. Like, we're going to have a lot of stuff to look at. I don't think many people are going to be looking at, hey, your paint's kind of a little ripply right here, or what happened here, you forgot to sand. Or if anybody starts picking it apart, I'm going to tell them, you know what, why don't you go build a car, and then I get to pick it apart. Let's see how good you can do. But like I said, I'm not really worried about that. I did get the chassis mount wing area back there all nice and welded in, seam sealed. The floor pan, you guys saw in the time lapse, I went ahead and spread body filler all down in here, sanded it all down. It looks a million% better than it did. Is it 100%? Nah, probably not, but if I wanted to do 100% on everything, I don't think that this would be the car. Don't get me wrong, like, I want to make it 100% for my son and everything, but holy cow, 100% is not what I'm after here. I am not going to go over this with a fine-tooth comb and make it a show car. It's not going to be a show car. It's going to be a street car. It's going to be a fast car. Probably not too fast because it's for my 16-year-old boy. But we're going to make it really awesome. And I'm jazzed with how everything looks. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to paint today. I've got a couple hours left of sunlight. There is a lot of bugs in here, a lot of flies. I hope they don't land in my freaking paint. I mean, they're landing all over the car. Maybe I'll turn on a fan or something. But yeah, I'm gonna paint the inside. I'm gonna paint the roof area. Then I'm gonna paint the doors underneath the doors and the door jambs. I am going to paint the A or the B and C pillar areas back there. I'm gonna paint down in the bottom. Then I'm gonna paint the wheel liners, the back, and then the floor pan. Probably finish it up with that. Everything looks really good. I'm jazzed. I'm gonna go ahead and hit this with some 400 grit sandpaper, just to kind of knock down the high build on the primer. Then I'll do some wax and grease remover, and then some spray away glass cleaner to get any of my little fingerprints, anything that I may have touched. Since it's been primed, we'll go ahead and get it all cleaned up the best I can. Then I'll, right before we paint, I'll go through and tack cloth it, make sure that there's nothing, no dust. And then we'll get the 50-50 mixed green paint, Kawasaki green paint. So now I'm going to bring you guys over here. Excuse my mess. But yeah, so I still have a bit of the last quart. It's probably just under half or so. There's not much, but I don't want to waste it. I ran down and got another quart. And this is kind of being a bummer. My 400 sandpaper that I'm going to need anyway. I bought a whole nother quart. So being that I have the brand new and the old, these were not mixed at the same time. This is what I did the engine bay on. I used almost just over half of it. Like I said, there's probably about this much in there. I am going to mix these two together, back and forth, and spin them around, and I'm going to add the reducer, the slow reducer, and clean it all up. I just got done cleaning my supervisor's gun. That's why I was talking about cleaning it all up. But yeah, I cleaned that all up nice. So I was using acetone to clean the gun, and that's a lot harder than actually using some of the thinner or the reducer. Go through that. That did a way better job than the acetone. So I think I'll be using that again. This cleaned up really nice, better than the acetone that I was using. But anyway, so I'm going to mix these two into a gallon. I'm going to measure it all, put it in the gallon can that I got, and then put the 50-50. I'm going to put the reducer in there too, mix it all up, make it all awesome, and then I'm going to seal it up. We're going to use it real quick, but I don't want anything to get into it or anything like that. Obviously, you can tell I'm not in a paint booth. I've got freaking spider webs and dust and bugs and flies, and we're going to try and do the best we can on the inside today. Like I said, I've got a couple more hours of sunlight. It's pretty warm. It's not hot. It's been up in the hundreds last week and the week. Well, no, not last week. Last week we had a hurricane, or 2 weeks ago. Anyways, it's starting to cool down. We're in September now. It's starting to cool down. I want to get this thing painted on the outside as quickly as I can. I got a guy next weekend. He's going to come and help me put the wide body fenders and over fenders on, and make everything awesome and smooth it all out, just so that I can get the paint on the outside of the car going here pretty quickly. Let me know if you guys want a live for that. I can probably grab some water bottles or some shirts or hats or something and do some giveaways. Question and answer maybe. I'll get one of my friends to, or two of my friends to come and do the commentaries. If that's something that you guys are interested in, let me know in the comment section. I think it would be cool. Unfortunately, I can't be blaring music and having fun and barbecuing or something because, you know, YouTube and the copyright laws, I got to use their music. So, but we can make it a party anyways. If that's something that you guys would like to see, let me know in the comment section. But yeah, we're going to probably within, I'm hoping by the end of the month, paint the outside of the car. We'll see how that goes. I'm a little leery about the body kit, but I got a guy that says he's a body guy and he's done them before, so he said he could help me, but it's going to cost me, and I understood that. I knew that was going to be the case anyway, but so now I've pretty much burned up a bunch of time. Primer's dry, so we're going to go ahead and mix these paints. Then I'm going to get in there. I'm going to do a quick little sand. I'm going to blow it out real good. I'm going to do the wax and grease remover. I was using a duplicate. I don't know where it is right at this second, but the wax and grease remover that I was using was a duplicolor. There it is. It's in the right place. It's just hiding behind stuff. So I've got duplicolor and I've got Rust-Oleum. I think the duplicolor is probably a little bit better of a product, but I'm not too sure. I think they're around the same stuff, but that gets all of the nasty out of the car, any kind of dust, any kind of wax or grease. I don't think there's going to be any wax or grease in there because I just primed it. We're going to go ahead and sand it down smooth with some 400 grit, hit it with the wax and grease, and then we're going to hit it with the sprayway. This is just, you can get this anywhere. AutoZone, Walmart, hell, I think you can get it at Rite Aid or Walgreens. This stuff is pretty good, but it's great for removing any kind of fingerprints. My hands are really, really dry right now, so I don't think I've got to worry too much about it, but we're going to go ahead and hit it with this just to make sure, in case I touch anything or have touched anything since it's been primered, I can get those fingerprints, those oily fingerprints off of the primer before we go ahead and put on the paint. I don't want some sort of delamination where 6 months down the road or 10 months down the road, this paint just flakes off and looks like crap for my son. We're doing everything the best we can. Like I said, it's not a show car, but it is going to be a nice, pretty car, and that's what I want. Anyways, I'm going to quit boring you guys with a bunch of talking. I'm going to mix together these paints real quick, put some reducer in there, and then we're going to sand down. That's probably going to take me another hour or so, so we will get back into some video when I get it all done and get to the part where we're going to do some wax and grease or wax and tar remover. Alright, well, I just got done sanding down the doors, the jambs, the wheel liners, and this back area. I kind of cheated a little bit. I didn't really hit the inside of the doors all that great. I didn't hit the B and C pillar area that great. I didn't even really concentrate on back here because I'm going to have custom made fiberglass speaker boxes for a couple of 10s back here. I'm going to have the battery right here, the uprights. So, I mean, I cleaned up this area real good. The wheel liner's real good. Sanded everything down nice and flat. Like I said, I cheated. I didn't sand everything, but some areas, if it's not immaculate, don't matter, because like the doors, I'm putting door panels back on the car. So you're not going to be able to see any of the door, except for obviously the back and the jamb, where I did take my time and sand everything down real nice. I've already blown it out. I might do that again, just in case. But then we're going to go and we're going to get into some wax and grease remover, and then clean it one more time with the sprayway. So we'll see how good the paint job turns out. I'm excited. This is what we've all been waiting for. Getting some green in the car. And there are a million flies. I don't know where all these freaking flies are coming from, but I have kind of a bad feeling about this. I think that all the flies are going to land in the brand new paint job. Matter of fact, I'm kind of positive that they're all going to land in the paint job because they're all landing on the car. I did have one fly land in the engine bay when I painted the engine bay, and he landed in, I believe he landed in the clear coat. So you can see where his legs were, but it's not that horribly bad, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. Like I said, we're going to do some wax and grease remover. I started with the Duplicolor. I liked the Duplicolor, so that's what we are going to continue with. I am not too worried about wax and grease. We just primed this. It hasn't been sitting. There hasn't been very much movement around the car. There's no wax and grease or oil or anything like that around the car. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not too worried about it. I got a few more brand new microfiber cloths. We're going to go ahead and we're going to concentrate on this back area because this is what's going to be visible. So I want to get this the best I can. Now that I sanded it, I can see a little bit more of the imperfections in this area. They're not too bad, but there are a few visible areas where it's not perfect. But it's not enough to make me want to re-sand it all down and add more feeler. They're not that bad. I don't think you'll be able to see much of them when you're looking at two nitrous tanks and freaking stereo equipment and everything else back here. Yeah, I think it's good enough. Is it perfect? No. It's not. But is it gonna look awesome? Hell yeah, it is. So I'm just gonna really liberally take this and just really lay it on thick. Just wash everything I can. Um, get in all the cracks as best I can. Um, like I said, I've already blown it out a couple of times. This is gonna uh, make the adhesion process a little better. It's gonna make sure that there's no nasty spots where a whole bunch of dirt has accumulated. Now, mind you, there's not going to be a whole bunch of dirt accumulating anywhere because this is all freshly primed. So I can definitely tell the areas that I didn't sand very well. Um, Obviously, those are areas that aren't going to be seen anyway. So I'm not too horribly concerned about them. I just want to make sure I get all the dust, all the, like I said, I've blown it out, but I want to make sure that I get all of the dust out of all of the little nooks and crannies. That way, when I go over it with the gun, with the paint gun, I don't have, I'm not blowing dust into my fresh coat of paint. This is looking really good. Like I said, I'm being super liberal with this stuff. I'm spreading it everywhere. Um, it's not uh, super expensive, but it's super expensive if you don't use it right. Because then you got to buy paint and redo everything that I already did. So we don't want to do that. So I am smoothing this stuff on real thick and making sure I get all the dust out of all the little nooks and crannies. Keep this in this hand. So remember a few videos back, I told you guys, oh, when you're doing body work, use a pencil. Because the pencil won't bleed through your primer and paint. It'll make your entire job way better. Yeah, well, right back here when I was marking up the chassis mount wing area, I used a Sharpie. And guess what I can see bleeding through the primer? The Sharpie. It's not a big deal because that's going to be covered anyway. I'm going to have a big plate, obviously, and I'm going to have to close up this big hole in the back. We're going to get a awesome, aluminum plate. Have it say Gavin or Gavin Tungate or Tungate Racing or something cool. Throttle did theirs. Obviously, it said Throttle. I really liked that. It really made the car come to life. I like that a lot, actually. I was pretty jazzed when they started making that. They put like some ballistic sound deadener on the back of it so it wouldn't rattle around and be obnoxiously loud. I will definitely end up having to do that because their car it lives at their shop or at the racetrack. This car is going to be driven. So I'm not doing everything that they did because this car is going to be driven. But I loved that build. They did such an amazing job on it. All right. Well, I think I did pretty good with the wax and grease remover. And there's not any kind of anything on the rag. So, like I said, this is all freshly primed. I'm not thinking that we're going to see any kind of anything but maybe a little bit of dust, which I'm not really seeing a bunch of that either. So that's a good thing. That means we did a pretty good job blowing it out and cleaning it up. I got a couple of fuzzies from the microfiber on the spots that I didn't sand very well. But like I said, that is not a big deal because all this is going to be covered. This right here isn't. The wheel wells, they're not. This back area is not. But the rest of it's going to be covered. So it's not a huge ordeal. Oh my god, I'm destroying a high dollar paint job or nothing like that. It's just making sure you get all the dust so you don't blow it into the, well, really this stuff is meant to get grease or any kind of oil or anything like that off, but we're more or less using it for the sanding dust or any kind of anything that's going to get spit off and land in the paint job. I'm not going to worry too much about the outside because I'm not spraying the outside. I might do this track. But like I said, I'm not too concerned with it because too concerned with the track or the outside, because even if it's not 100%, it's not a big deal because we are going to be painting the outside, and it can be redone at that point. Man, this is looking good. When it's all clean, gee. Yeah, I'm jazzed. Make sure that I get all up underneath here. I guess I could have grinded that a little bit better. There's a little bit of weird cut right there on the so this area, there used to be a strut brace that came down. We cut all that out, and I could have grinded that a little bit better, but it's up underneath, tucked away. It's grinded pretty good. I'm not worried about it cutting my son or anything. I don't think he'll be reaching up underneath there. But all right, well, enough gib gab and talking. I'm going to grab another microfiber, and I'm going to do the same thing I did. Well, I'm going to do the doors and the door jambs and that. And then I'm going to grab a new microfiber, and I'm going to go ahead and spray away glass cleaner. Just in case I touched anything with this ungloved hand, I was telling myself I'm going to keep the glove in this, or keep the rag in this hand, that way I don't touch anything. But as you can see, I've been switching back and forth. So just in case I touched anything, I'll go ahead and hit it with the spray away. Make sure that, you know, every little bit of cleaning helps. So that's what we're going to do. Man, I really like that big hole in the back. It makes it real easy to work on the car. Because I tell you what, having to spray that with without that big hole there, that would I don't think that would be a very fun time. That was pretty genius of throttle to cut that big old area out of the car. I'm not gonna lie, I did not think of that. They did it to their car, which I'm mocking. I'm not building the Fast and Furious replica car. I don't have no enthusiasm for that. Don't get me wrong, I like the Eclipse and I love the movie, but that car didn't even have the right engine. They had their gas door was glued onto the actual gas door. They didn't even take it off. Like, not poking fun at the movie, but there was a lot of stuff that if you were a car guy, you went, what? All right, well, one more door to do, then we'll get in there with a little bit of glass cleaner, clean up any fingerprints. Oh man, and I've already mixed up the paint 50-50 with the 50, well, I had 1,000 milliliters of paint, so I put 1,000 milliliters of reducer. So that gave me 2,000 milliliters of sprayable product. So I think I'm not gonna lie, I'm horrible at math. I don't even think that's a half a gallon, but I think it's pretty close. Little math trivia for you guys. Go ahead and tell me what 2,000 milliliters is. I'm just kidding. You don't have to do math. It's a weekend. That's why I'm here and not working. Well, that's why I'm here working and not working at my job. Man, this looks good. Nice and clean. Everything's so awesome. I cannot wait to see this green. Okay, well, I think I'm going to go hit that A-pillar real quick and over the door on the other side. Just because I haven't done that, and that's not fresh primer, that's old primer. Not super old, but yeah, see, there was a spider web. That would have irritated the heck out of me if I would have blown that into my paint job. Oh, I see fingerprints. Woo, thank God I'm doing all of the steps the way you're supposed to, because I see grimy fingerprints in the little sunroof area right here. Right there. Oh man, that took it off. Awesome. Cleaned it right up. No big deal. But I am super happy that I caught that, because those grimy handprint right there would have caused delamination. And I mean, mind you, the sunroof goes there, so you wouldn't see it. But it would have definitely flaked the paint off and could have caused problems, and that's not what I want to do. So I am super, super jazzed now. I'm going to do pretty much the same thing, but with the spray away glass cleaner. I'm not going to video that. This little section's already 20 minutes long. This is going to be a long video. So I'm going to quickly just hit it one more time with the spray away glass cleaner, and then we'll get back into a video for the paint.